Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our webinar. I'm Joseph Novichkov, Senior Trading Manager with GDM. Today's session, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a look at a very simple range breaking system. Simply, we will be talking about the Asian session breakout. Such a daily breakout is actually possible to be traded not only on the European or the Asian session, or it can also be traded on the US session, on any other particular market. However, the interesting fact here is that it really depends on where you are right now. So if your MetaTrader 4 platform, for example, is in your local time, or in some cases, or as it's with us right now, is in GMT, we can trade the Asian session breakout throughout the European session. Simply, the system actually works quite well with high volatility instruments like currency pairs or commodities, such as gold, oil, if you want Euro USD, GBP USD, USD JPY, so on and so forth. But not all majors are that volatile as it is, for example, the euro, the pound, gold, for example, oil lately. So it doesn't mean that you cannot use it with less volatile pairs or instruments in general, but the idea of this breakout usually occurs on large volume or bigger volatility on a daily range. So speaking of a daily range, as well as our system will progress throughout the session of today, we will focus firstly on the daily chart. It is because we need to know what was the previous day range. We will of course take as well as the extremums above and below the candlesticks, and everything that we need on this chart is just candlestick chart. And of course, you can just let your 200 exponential moving average stay there, simply because it is a strong support and resistance level. Lately, we will move down to smaller time frames, like 15 minutes and 5-minute chart, to have a look at our entries and of course our exits, and furthermore to our positions, to add our stops, and of course pending orders if necessary. However, pending orders are not a must in this system, ladies and gentlemen. It is because the only way we're trading this system is on the breakout of the previous session range. Now, what we're looking at right now is daily gold chart. What we'll get from this daily chart is only the range of the previous day. So we are in this session at the moment. So after all, this session is not over yet for us to find out what would be the next market direction. However, as well as we've been in this particular session here and here 2 days ago, and yesterday, this was the particular movement. The only interest we have in this daily chart is to simply confine our particular range in order for us to move to smaller time frames. How to do that? We can always use like horizontal lines, for example. Let's just fix it up a little bit. Yeah, we're going to leave it like this. Or for better purposes, let's take a trend line, because we can make it shorter without the necessity of using a horizontal line which cannot be modified in length. So the particular range that is developed during the day's session, it is very important for us to understand that the extremums of the session is by far the most important than the opening and the closing. So now we have a daily range of this particular session here, which of course is telling us when exactly we should enter the market. First of all, to enter on a session breakout on a daily chart, we need to wait for at least 2 to 3 days to confirm this particular breakout. But what we're interested in is in short-term trading, sometimes scalping, or daily swing trading by just opening on the breakout of the particular range and leaving the position open throughout the day, or just setting your targets in order to achieve your profits. What we need to do is go down to the smaller time frames and zoom a bit so we can better see what exactly is happening. First, I need to mark this particular session, as this is the one that we will be focusing on the smaller time frames. And it's beginning, of course. So the beginning of this session marks this particular candlestick here. Our range breakout of this system occurs on the long candlestick here. But this is not really our entry. Now, there are particular rules of this system that we need to obey in order to get as close as possible to the profits that we're looking on, and especially when we speak about protecting our own investment. Now, when I mean about this 200 exponential, that it's always a good idea to have it, is basically because it's so strong support and resistance level that the price will hover around this area for some time until it finds a new direction or it continues with the old direction. In this case, it found a very strong resistance level here and it continued its route down. However, when we're talking about profits, this particular system is, first of all, quite reliable in cases of giving you good signals. First of all, because we're not really interested whether the breakout is fake or true. So basically, we're interested in getting our profits as soon as possible out, with, of course, the most conservative mindset at the beginning. That means when you draw the line using this system along the way, you will notice that the profits this particular system gives you are not as large as any other higher risk level system as we've been speaking so far. And of course, we will continue with something like this the next time. On Friday, we will talk about some Ishimoku systems. I've seen a lot of traders, of course, interested in this particular style. So I will present it to you with some good ideas and hints how you can achieve your goals. But first of all, the interest on this particular system could be to very conservative traders that are interested in only 1 up to 2 trades per day, with, of course, not larger amount of money into their accounts. So even if you start by the far with the most minimum that the company allows you, you will still be able to trade with a micro lot, which of course will allow you to make the same amount of profits in percentages when you draw the line at the end of the month. So it could be up to 15% return on investment. It could be more, depending on the risk that you're willing to take on a single position. But please remember, the system and its reliance is mostly on the breakthrough, the breakout of the current day. So as we saw at the beginning, our range of our previous day range is confined between 342 pips, or simply $34 into gold, into the gold price. So comparing this system to higher risk level systems, this system is not going to allow you to trade the whole range, but it's actually going to give you a partial profit, which is an accuracy up to 90%. But the profit in this case is something between $6 or 60 pips in this case, or just give you on one lot, because it's easier to calculate, about $600 on a daily profit. But remember, the only way this system works well is when you take your profit as quickly as possible. The way to figure out when the price has actually ended its particular route down is to find out where the previous support and resistance areas are. Now let's just first mark these levels here so we can have them in the future and see precisely what does that mean on a daily chart, for example. Now on a daily chart, you can see that this level that we drew here on the particular take profit area in this case is coming on a level of 1190. Now if you see here, there is a lot of resistance support areas here, as well as nearest is coming here, as you can see. But the more stronger the support is at our trigger point, which is the lower range level. And of course, the take profit must occur a few pips above the area of support, which means in this case, the actual area of support is coming up to 1190. As you can see, this candlestick's extremum. Also, the same price occurs over here. And safe to say is that a couple of dollars above this price, you can always set your take profit, only just to consider the spread, to consider that the price might never even reach that support level, but take a support somewhere higher. So $2 to $3 away from this price, when we speak in terms of gold price, of course, $3, that's about 30 pips, you will be available to take your profit, and you will not make a mistake by leaving it too far away. As you can see, how close the shadow goes to the 1190 area. But sometimes it stops even higher in this case. So in terms of profit, when we get to our trade area, as you can see, those candlesticks within this support area are telling us that we should exit the market. And when we're trading on the smaller time frames, such as 15-minute charts, if you wish, you can take a look at the 5-minute chart. The 5-minute chart, however, will also allow you to better spot entry levels, like, for example, this retracement of the first breakout. So a riskier trader in this case, when the range is first broken, this is our breakthrough range from where our price is expected to continue falling down. A riskier trader will take entry over here. A more conservative trader will wait for the price to make its extremum hike, or the price action to take the price to a particular support area and to wait for it to retrace a little bit higher in order to take entry somewhere around here. In this case, however, the more conservative trader is losing a couple of dollars in price, which eventually could be your profit in this case. But let's say in both cases we have conservative traders, we have more extreme type of traders. Now in this case, your potential profit comes close to $7 or $700 in terms of profit in one lot. The more conservative trader will compromise with this particular profit only to take about $600 of this profit, just to be sure that this conservative trader will wait for a proper entry area. Simply because if the price action, as well as we're looking at 5-minute chart and you're scalping, that means the price action and the volatility will drive the price down very quickly. In some cases, I will talk about the exceptions later, but in some cases the move is so severe on the 5-minute chart that this particular profit could be achieved only in one move, and then the retracement is usually 100%. As well as we can see over here. But now in this case area here, ladies and gentlemen, our broken support level of our daily range in the previous session becomes a resistance area from where we are also able to take further action and further profits for some more dollars. The same day we're getting another close to $500 in terms of profit. But in this case, when the price is retraced 100%, the risk of continuing higher and of course losing your money is much greater. So basically, even if you take this particular move here, do not expect the price to reach your previous take profit area. It's much more likely to stop somewhere around the first area of support where the price is initially stopped once when the price action took place before retracing, and then the trend continues down. So rule number 1, take profit levels are always on the support or resistance areas on a daily basis chart. So when you decide to enter and you want to quickly set up your take profit level, okay, you switch directly to a daily chart and you find out where exactly your strong support area lies. Take away a few dollars of this price, or let's say 20 to 30 pips in terms of range. Take it away just for the spread, also just to be sure that your take profit will be hit before the price gets back within that range, because it's only a matter of time to retrace and retest those levels over and over again until it gets further away from them and develop new ranges, new levels of support and resistance, so on and so forth. On the daily chart, however, it is also a very good opportunity for you to see whether there is a candlestick formation or any chart pattern, for example, that might do you a very good job. In this case, this star formation here with the gap here of about between those sessions. So this is something that can always tell you what to expect in the future. Now, as well as we've been in many discussions with traders among us, most of them, which I've been discussing this particular system with, they consider it to be the lazy system, let's say. It's called a lazy system because you're taking opportunity in the breakout in the morning. Okay, you're making your decision when the day is present. So basically, when the new day comes, you're taking the range from the previous session, setting your initial entry levels, or probably you can set up an alert on this case without taking the pending order idea. I'll tell you why. Because let's have a look at the smaller time frame again. I want you to notice that when we speak about price action, you see the price action is so quick that sometimes the price has no time to retrace. So in these cases, it's good to have a pending order. But in most cases, when this particular range has been broken, then the price action goes back within that range to test the previous levels. So in this case, you should also wait for a confirmational signal on this breakout. That means at least 2 to 3 sessions after. In terms of 5-minute chart, that is going to be very quickly. But in terms of retracement to spot a better entry level, you can always take it on this hanging man here, on this reversed hammer. This is a beautiful place to take your action on the market, and of course to take your profits out of the market. Also another conservative way on this morning star formation here. You can see these 3 candles, one after another, with a doji in between. So your profit could take place at the opening of the session because you already see that it's confirmed and it's on the bottom of a downtrend, which is going to signal the end of the trend. And of course, when we speak about small time frames, those candlesticks formations are extremely powerful. But of course, the profits from them are have to be also very quick, quick entry, quick exit, so on and so forth. And as we can see, the extremums from here to here, if anyone is interested, of course, we get the same amount of profit over here, with of course the extremums, if you measure the distance. So this is just a deviation from today's session. However, this is only one condition that we can take. This is another one for one day. But let's say we are so conservative that we want to trade on the breakout of the day. This is, you can see the time here. This is exactly when the market opens, of course. We can see that our position takes place within the Asian session. So basically, we have, this is about 3 p.m. in the morning GMT. That means if we have to add a few hours, that's 2 more hours or about 8 more hours for Malaysia, Singapore. It is pretty much somewhere around the morning hours for almost everyone on the planet. So this system allows you to get up in the morning, take advantage of the market while you're drinking your coffee, cash in on the profits, and then go out and go have some fun. That's pretty much why they're calling it the lazy system, because straight from the bed, on a fresh head, you're making your decision, you're taking your profits out, and the profit is out in about 4 p.m., 4:15 in the morning. That's in about an hour time afterwards. So until you're having your coffee, you're making about $600, which you can just straight away go cash it in and go out and buy something, or just go have some fun with friends, or travel something, or just climb a mountain. Whatever that you want to do, you can do it with the system. It is easy. It doesn't take too much time. It is not involved with particular instruments and oscillators and the confirmations and stuff, but of course it takes you it gives you very small portion of the profit of the market. So it depends, of course, on the size of your investment, or the calling balance of your account, that is eventually going to be decisive for the profits that you're going to get. But the percentage return on investment is largely going to depend on the amount of positions that you're taking. So if you're taking one position, your return on investment could not exceed 10% per month, which is by far even more than any bank can give you on an annual basis, because by far the best particular deposit cash is about 1.5 to 2.5%, depending on the amount of money that you have to invest. Or let's say the highest is about 2.5% for $1 million. But with $1 million and this system, in one morning, while you're having your coffee, you could make about $100,000 for 1 month without a problem. So I would say it makes it quite lazy, and therefore the name will stick forever, as well as long as the people, as long as traders are using this system, as long as they're considering it to be by far the easiest to use, and it's very suitable for basic traders which are just coming in on the market, trying to learn the moves, and of course getting profits along this experience until they get more and more experience to achieve higher returns on investment in percentages, and of course use systems which are more complex with additional indicators which could give you, of course, more and more opportunities on market on a daily basis. But this scalping system is very nice, especially if you have about $10,000 to $100,000 accounts. And just consider that this, for 1 day, for 1 hour in the morning, can give you the work for your life. So basically, you don't have to work for anyone. You don't have to make an extra effort to achieve any profits, or you don't have to do anything during the day, but just lying down or just do whatever you want. That's it. This is the system, guys. Nothing complicated. The only rules that we have here are the following. We wait for the closing of the daily chart. Let's have a look at it. We wait for the closing of the daily chart. There it is. Even if the session is very long and you consider yourself a gambler to take an advantage like this one, I do not consider myself as a gambler. So I would take the profit, only this one here, you see, only this profit. Now this is enough for me if I'm a conservative trader and I want to trade only in the morning and just go outside and do something else. Rule number 2, we have to draw the range with the extremums. Our initial action is taken on smaller time frames, like the 15-minute chart or the 5-minute chart as well. I would prefer to go down to the 5-minute chart, to be honest with you guys, because it's much better when the price action breaks this range. The retracement is much more visible and gives you a better opportunity to enter from a higher price, like even from here. But I would definitely wait for this hammer to occur and to say, okay, this is a very strong support area, resistance area here, the 1198, which will have been forever been a strong support and resistance area for gold price, as well as 1190, 1192 as well. So you see, when you continue to make money along the way, have a lot of fun, and as well learn a few things about different currencies and commodities, you will know which areas are crucial for any instrument that you're trading. And this is only one instrument, ladies and gentlemen. So imagine if this is the only opportunity you have so far, but you're lately going to trade, for example, let's go to, what do we take? We take the British pound if we want. All right, British pound, 5-minute chart. We get to the daily range. Let's just get a better template here. We get to the daily chart. We're considered to have a range of this one. This is yesterday, a range of 243 pips. We're getting to we're going to confine that range with two horizontal lines, this one and this one. And lately, we're going to move down to a 5-minute chart to see where exactly this range breakout. And as we can see, this particular breakout is here, but the volatile nature of this particular instrument is always going to make it go back within that range. So when you trade it, you will know with your experience that certain instruments like the British pound versus the dollar, it's extremely volatile no matter what time of the day is, and you have to cash in on these profits very, very quickly, like finding out where exactly the support area is here. As you can see, a lot of candlesticks aligned on one and the same level. Even if you miss that chance and the price retraces, you have the 200 exponential to give you some insight that, okay, you know, I have a resistance area that is going to protect me. Maybe I'm going to just wait a little bit longer so I can get rid of the, you know, most of the losses that I'm currently sustaining, the running loss that I have. But then the price shoots down so fast with a range of about 20 pips that you can actually cash in on these profits as well, not only just get back on the losses. But this is for you guys. You will find out in the future how to behave with different currencies, because one of them, you know, some of them are very volatile and others are not so volatile. But let's say very suitable for gold, oil, euro, dollar. Those are the, how to say, in the early hours of trading are much more likely to get a particular direction and keep going that way because they're not so volatile during these hours. But the British pound and the US dollar, they're mostly traded, variety of traders are trading mostly this particular currency pair because of the volatile nature, and the risk-reward ratio is quite appropriate for some of them. So if you are more conservative, trade something with lower daily volatility, but still a range which is large enough so you can achieve profits between 60 to 80 pips in about an hour time, which gives you a few $1,000s profit every morning, and that's about it. That's all, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. If there are any questions about this particular system or any other, just fire away. If you have questions that need urgent attention, please get back to our website, get back to our telephone numbers there. Just call us right away, or request an attention from me or any of my colleagues, and we will be right there with you, or just drop us an email. Anything works, we will always get back to you. And one more time, of course, the session is recorded as every webinar. For those that are coming here for the first time, you can always watch every webinar on our YouTube channel. As soon as we master it and, of course, upload it into the channel, you will be able to find it there. And if you have problems doing so, go to our support department chat, and they will directly forward a link to the requested webinar. That's all for today. Thank you guys for joining us. I'll see you on Friday. We will talk about advanced Ishimoku systems. If you're interested in this particular way of trading, you are always welcome, and I'll see you there. Bye-bye.